Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Christy.
And I'm Charla, and today we're doing another vegetarian freezer meals video. We get requests.
Backed by popular request.
Yeah, we
For
listen.
a couple of reasons. Number one, people like vegetarian meals. There are lots of vegetarian options that are spicy and delicious and flavorful, but also they're a little more on the frugal side. I don't know if you've noticed that groceries have been skyrocketing.
Absolutely.
And so, people are starting to engage with like Meatless Mondays and stuff like that, and vegetarian doesn't have to mean boring.
Absolutely not. Actually, a lot of the meals that we have for you today have an international spin on them. So they are super flavorful. Amazing. And we tend in our house to gravitate towards more of that those international flavors. So Christy's house less so.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about those kinds of foods since I've started cooking with Charla, and they're all good. There's been some ones that you've introduced me to, and I thought that's very weird. And some of them I really love, and some of them I think they're really weird, but they're still really good, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to branch out and try new things, and this is a really awesome, safe way to do it. I will vouch for Charla and her palate because she's a foodie. Things taste good. She won't eat it if it doesn't taste good.
True story.
Stuff in the club. I do have to laugh. There's a lady in our Facebook group a while ago, which you should join, by the way. There's a link down below. It's an awesome Facebook group. And she's like, I was looking in the membership club and I saw the chicken hurry and it looked kind of weird, but I thought they wouldn't put it in here if it tasted bad. And guys, I love this. You have to try it. It is so good.
She was like, I was so wrong.
Yeah, she was really skeptical. And so I'm knowing what I'm saying is trust Charla and her palate. I'll eat anything, but she will not. So
No.
These dishes are very good.
They are good. So the first dish that we have for you today is, again, with that, international kind of flair or influence anyway. And it is the Thai red curry with vegetables. For this, you're going to add some baby corn, bamboo shoots. Did you know you can buy bamboo shoots in a can? You can. That was a very bad pun. Anyway, stick with me. Some sliced mushrooms, honey, red curry paste, fish sauce, chicken broth, and coconut milk. You're gonna put all of those ingredients in your large freezer bag. Take out all the air that you can, because when you're freezer cooking, air is what causes that freezer burn, and none of us want freezer burn. So you always have to make sure that you take out all the air that you can from your bag. You're gonna seal this, freeze it, and on the day that you cook it, you're just gonna heat it up on your stove top and wait until the vegetables are tender. It's done so quickly. I serve this on rice. If you'd prefer to serve it as a side dish with something, that's fine too. But I like the rice because it soaks up some of the sauce that comes with this, and then you get to enjoy all of those flavors.
This dish is called Yakik Alicha. It is an Ethiopian dish, and if you weren't aware, Charla has done an international adoption of a couple of kids that were born in Ethiopia, and so she has done a lot of Ethiopian cooking, and in fact there's a whole video about it. Ethiopian cooking is not for the faint of heart. It is kind of an all-day process, so don't go into this one thinking you're gonna bang it out in 5 minutes, because it is a little bit more involved, but there's a big payout, so stick with me. Start out with your yellow split peas in a medium saucepan and cover them with water. You want to bring them to a boil over high heat and boil for 5 minutes and drain. In the meantime, in another saucepan, you want to heat some canola oil up over medium heat, add some finely minced onions, and cook, stirring for 8 minutes. Add some minced garlic and pureed ginger. We like the squeezy tube pureed ginger because it's easy and it's always fresh. You want to cook that, stirring for 1 minute, stir in some turmeric, then stir in the drained split peas. Cook, stirring for 1 more minute, and add 3 cups of water. You want to bring that to a boil and cook some more, stirring and occasionally adding more water if needed if the split peas aren't softened yet. You want to make sure it's soft and the stew is thick and not soupy. This will take about 30 minutes. Season it with salt, let cool, and then you can put it in a bag and freeze.
And so for that one, because it's already cooked,
it's just a reheat only.
You just reheat. You do serve it on injera, which is an Ethiopian spongy bread-like thing.
It's like a flatbread.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to continue our world tour with an Italian dish, pesto minestrone. This one is often in our big mega meal sessions because it is simple, it's delicious, and it's stuff, really, it's just stuff you have on hand that you could make. You could make this at home anytime. You want to start out with some bow tie pasta, put it in a medium freezer bag, and then in a large freezer bag, you're going to add some diced onion, minced garlic, celery if you want, some sliced carrots, 8 fluid ounces of white wine, or if you don't want an alcoholic version, you can use de-alcoholized white wine or apple juice. And I'm gonna say for a second, whenever we say, can we make that minestrone the good one with the wine? That's how we identify this one. Oh yeah, the pesto minestrone with the wine. We're gonna add some diced tomatoes, some mixed beans that have been drained and rinsed, tomato paste, Italian seasoning, and black pepper, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and your pesto. You're gonna add it all together in your big bag and seal it, and then you're going to staple the bags together above the sealing line, then you can freeze them. On the day of cooking, you want to thaw this, put it into a big stock pot on the stove, add 4 cups of vegetable broth. You could add it on the day of freezing, the day that you're assembling, but it gets pretty big and it gets very thick. So to save a bit of room in your freezer, we just add it on the day of cooking. But if you wanted to, you could add it on the day of assembly as well. You want to bring it to a boil and simmer for 20 minutes. Let those flavors meld, let your vegetables get soft, and then you can add in your pasta. And when your pasta is cooked, it is ready to serve. When you serve it, I like to put a little bit of extra Parmesan right in the bowl.
Me too, and red pepper flakes.
Yeah, it's nice. And do you know what? This is a really great one for the slow cooker too. You can set it and forget it, and stir in your pasta right before. And you could cook your pasta separately if you wanted, but you could cook it in the slow cooker as well, and then it's really easy for you.
Okay, so I have a story with this next recipe. Recently, my husband and I went to visit our oldest son. He lives in BC. For those of you that don't know, Christy and I live in Canada. So we're in one province, and my oldest son, sadly, is in another province. And it is a beautiful province, and I get why he wants to live there. So we went to visit him there, and one morning we took him and his fiance out for breakfast. We went to this just, regular breakfast place. It was in a hotel. It's just kind of the normal type of place that you would go to when you're on vacation and you want to eat out for breakfast. And we asked, the menu was all the usual things, your eggs Benedict, your farmer's breakfast, all that stuff. Yeah. But then there was this Moroccan stew for breakfast, which is odd on a breakfast menu. So I asked the waitress about it, and she was like, you have to get this. You have to get this.
Don't you love it when waitstaff? I mean, sometimes you ask waitstaff, you're like, what's your favorite thing? What do you recommend? Some of them hum and haw. I like the ones that know that you have to get this. I always appreciate that.
Because I've never been there. I don't know what's good. But she was like, you have to get this. And she said, I don't even like chickpeas. And I love this dish. And so you could get it with poached eggs on top of it, which made it a little more breakfasty, or you could get it just as is. And it came with a side of really thick, kind of like what you would see as garlic bread, except it wasn't garlicky. So like a French bread or whatever that was grilled.
Oh, okay.
And so you could dip the bread in it, which was...
That's nice.
So good. Anyway, was like, as soon as I got home from that trip, I called Christy and I was like, we have to figure out how to make this Moroccan chickpea stew.
She did. Often, that's the phone call I get. She phones and tells me how the trip was, and then she tells me about the food.
Yes.
And it's so true. And how many have you recreated over the years? Remember that place in Canmore with the white wine and the mussels?
It's like
the shrimp.
The shrimp.
We haven't made that in a while.
No.
We need to make
fire and ice shrimp with the Thai chili sauce and
all right, we got to make that
wine.
Again.
So good.
I'm getting hungry here talking about this.
Anyway, so yes, for me, vacations are all about the food, and it's like a major bonus if I can try something that I've never tried before, and it's actually good. Yeah. And then it's a bit of a challenge for me if I can recreate it. And it's good news for you, actually, especially if you're in our club. We've got the Freezer Meals 101 Club. We'll put the link for that down below. And in there, it generates all your shopping lists, prints off your labels. Like, it does all the work for you, all the brain
work. You still have to chop your own vegetables. We're not coming to your house to do that for you.
We're not the freezer meal fairy godmothers.
It's totally customizable. You can pick your meal plan and pick your recipes. And like she said, it really does give you a shopping list, a prep list, and now labels.
And if you are vegetarian or even vegan, you can push a button and
all the vegetarian meals come out.
Just boom, they're there.
And I'm gonna say there are some that are bacon. You can filter with bacon. If you just omitted the bacon, it would be vegetarian.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because we have quite a few where we put bacon in a lot of stuff.
Like our corn chowder, it's vegetarian except for the bacon.
Totally.
Or actually that cream corn that we made for the Thanksgiving sides, which was so good.
So good. That's going in the club.
That is, it's so good. Anyway, that one, if you omitted the bacon,
it would be vegetarian.
Whatever. So check that out if you want. And now I'm going to teach you how to make Moroccan chickpea stew.
Yay!
So in your bag, you're going to put diced sweet potato. You can do 1 or 2 sweet potatoes depending on how large they are. And those are about in 1-inch cubes. And then you're gonna add a can of drained chickpeas, some diced tomatoes, that's a 28-ounce can, a chopped onion, 3 cloves of garlic. We like to use the pre-minced garlic from a jar because it's just a lot easier. Now, here is where you get all the flavor from, because you're gonna add cumin, curry powder, paprika, cinnamon, turmeric, cayenne pepper, some salt and pepper. That's a lot of spices, so you can see why this is so flavorful. And we're gonna add a little bit of brown sugar, some vegetable broth, and some black Kalamata olives that are pitted. You can also, if you want, add some black currants to this. So there's a lot of really interesting flavors in this dish. You're gonna take out the excess air, seal it, freeze it, and on the day that you serve this, you're gonna thaw it and you can cook it on the stove top or in your crock pot. Now, if you wanna make this for a breakfast thing, you could add some poached eggs on top.
And a big honkin' slice of French bread.
Definitely, no matter how you eat this, you should have some bread to dip in this, because, the sauce in this stew is just flavorful. I mean, listen to all those spices. Vegetarian
taco soup is a really good flavorful one. Just another nice international twist on a vegetarian soup. Start it with kidney beans and white kidney beans that have been rinsed and drained, diced tomatoes, kernel corn, and tomato sauce. And I'm gonna just take a minute here and talk about how much we love our electric can opener. Charlotte and I have been doing freezer meals together for a really long time, and one of the best things that we did for ourselves was buy an electric can opener, because we do go through a lot of cans, and depending on the meals, sometimes 100 cans if we are doing enough meals over the weekend for one of our mega sessions. And we've been through a few can openers too. So it is something to add we don't always like to say, you need all these special gadgets, but if you're going to do this long term for many years and do many, many meals, it might be something you want to add to your kitchen if you don't have one. We're going to add some chopped onions, some diced chilies, again with the can opener, a little bit of taco seasoning, and some water. You're going to put all of these in a resealable bag. You're going to squish to combine and remove that excess air, and then seal and freeze. So on the day of cooking, you can thaw it, simmer the soup in a large pot on your stove for 20 minutes. And really, you could just bring it to bubbling in your microwave. You could do this in your slow cooker. And then you're going to dress it up like a taco. So you're going to put it in your bowl. You can add some sour cream. You can add shredded cheese. You could add little chopped jalapenos. You could do whatever you want to make it feel like it's a taco, except it's soup. Ooh, crushed up taco chips.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know how you can get those meal kits? I don't want to name one of the companies, but you can get those meal kits where they're delivered to your house and then you make the meal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one time we ran out of freezer meals, which does not happen commonly at all.
And didn't you have a gift card? Like somebody,
Yeah.
It was a gift.
Someone gave us a card where we could get like a week for free. We did pay for an extra week.
Yeah.
Now, I think they're great if you're learning to cook, if freezer cooking for some reason doesn't work for you. I think they can be good. Like my brother-in-law and his wife, they do this together, and it's a way that they spend time together.
Yeah, it's their date night. They cook together.
Yeah, they're following a recipe. All
and
the
everything
ingredients
comes in
are
the
there.
box. So it's just right there to cook.
For our family, it was not a good...
It wasn't the best fit.
It wasn't the best fit because we have a really large family. We've got 7 kids. Those are designed for either 2 or 4 people. So that's one reason, I mean a good reason, that it didn't work well for our family. The other thing is that I hate doing dishes. Like, it's not because I'm lazy, because I'm not, but it's just one of those, I mean, everyone has something.
Yeah.
Like for some people, they hate laundry.
And when you have a family of 7 people, you do a lot of dishes. Yes, 9 people. You do a lot of dishes anyway.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, there's no getting around that I do a lot of dishes.
These meal kits are kind of infamous for needing like 5 pots.
Yes. It's like, oh, roast these almonds in the oven on a cookie sheet while you do this in this pot and this in this pot, and take out 3 chopping boards because you don't want to cross-contaminate. Like, I found it used a lot of dishes, which I didn't love. However, I'm going to put a however here. I was exposed to recipes that I wouldn't normally make, and some really interesting ones.
We've converted a few.
We have converted a few to freezer meals, and then we've found ways so that they use a lot less dishes. We can make them ahead. It's easier, faster, all the things.
Yes.
But I'm not sad that we did it for those few weeks because I was able to get some really great ideas and kind of get out of my cooking rut.
Right. And I always think I have cooking ruts, and it's hard for me to think that you have cooking ruts because you always have new ideas, but you purposefully look for new things to cook.
Yeah, I'm always trying to find like what.
Well, plus we have the club, we have
videos
I have to find
on the
things
website. For you, like I've got to find new ideas for you, and not just new ideas, but there's some people that like love beef or love chicken or love sheet pan or love one pot or love and need vegetarian or gluten-free or dairy-free, and so I have to think of ideas for all of it, right?
It's good. It's good to have the variety. I love it.
So in our meal kit, we had a recipe for paneer curry. And
if you don't know, paneer is an Indian food. It's kind of like a tofu, but it's made with whey. So you'll find it with the cheese. Mm-hmm. In your grocery store, if you can find it. Sometimes we've had trouble finding it.
It's hard to find.
But it comes in a block, and you cut it into 1-inch cubes like you would with a really stiff tofu or like you would with a really soft cheese.
Yeah, and so we have made this paneer curry into a freezer meal a number of times. And this last time, we decided that we were going to buy extra paneer and create our own recipe entirely from scratch. And so we created a Paneer Vindaloo.
Mm-hmm.
When you're making freezer meals, it's easier, if you're doing the work, to make things with similar ingredients. So if you're gonna cut up your paneer anyway and fry it up, you might as well make multiple recipes with it and double those recipes while you're at it. Double all these recipes.
Double all these recipes.
Because it is not double the work by any means, and you do get double the meals.
And we always tell people, if you want to start doing freezer meals and you're not really sure how to get into it, start by doubling. If you're gonna have your chicken in here and adding a sauce, have chicken in a bag and add the sauce to the bag. So easy. Throw it in your freezer and you can build those up and have a week's worth or a month's worth right in your freezer. And boy, that's how you get addicted. That's the gateway. That's the gateway to being addicted to freezer cooking.
Because I would hate to have to go back to a life where I have to think about what to make for dinner every day.
What are we going to do when we're like old and don't have kids at home and it's just the two of us?
We're going to make the individual freezer
ones.
meals. Like,
you can grill with us.
Are you assuming our husbands are going to be dead?
No, I mean the two of us. I meant like us two and you two.
Okay.
But, you know. But now that we do this, we can never move.
No. We have to stay neighbors forever.
Forever. That's all right.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
And then we can get like retirement places in Arizona across from each other. We're gonna do so much Tex-Mex.
That would be great.
We could take Supper Club to Arizona.
Absolutely.
Got me excited. I'm totally off track. Sorry, back to the paneer.
That's okay. So this paneer, we're gonna do paneer curry and paneer vindaloo. So for your paneer curry, you're cubing your paneer in 1-inch pieces. You're cooking it on medium-high in some butter. You're gonna season it with salt and pepper, and you're just cooking it and stirring it so that you're flipping it so that it kind of gets seared on all sides, like 6 to 10 minutes.
It adds a bit of structure.
Yes.
Right? And brings out the flavor.
Changes the texture. And you wanna not overcrowd your pan, so you do have to do this in batches, especially because in this case we were making quadruple the amount because we were making double of the paneer curry and double of the paneer vindaloo. So then you're gonna pat it with the paper towel to get just that excess butter off of there. And for the paneer curry, you're adding your cooked curry or cooked paneer into your freezer bag, and then some diced tomatoes, frozen peas, chopped onion, ginger, again with that squeezy tube, minced garlic, curry paste. We added 2 tablespoons into each bag, salt, pepper, and half a cup of Greek yogurt and a bit of cilantro. Now, on the day that you serve this, you're gonna want to add more Greek yogurt and cilantro, and you're just reheating because your paneer is already cooked. You want to soften that onion a tiny bit and cook those peas through, but this is going to take you no time at all in a skillet. You can again serve this as a side dish if you're having other East Indian food like butter chicken, or we actually have a lot of recipes.
We have a lot of Indian food. Yeah.
So but you can just use this as a side dish, or you can have this over rice as your complete meal. It does, with the paneer, have the protein in there. For the paneer vindaloo, we are again cutting up our paneer, sauteing it in butter, patting it with the paper towel before we add it into our large freezer bag. We're adding half a cup of minced onion, some crushed tomatoes, 14 ounces, 2 tablespoons of vindaloo paste, some minced garlic, minced ginger, and half a cup of heavy cream. This one is going to be so creamy and delicious. Again, you could serve this over jasmine rice, saffron rice, basmati rice, just basically rice, or with naan.
With naan. And then you
Yum.
could sop it up. Oh, I have some at home in my freezer. Now I know what I'm making for supper. And it's a thin one, so it'll thaw
quickly.
fast. That's it. That's our vegetarian meals for the day.
We have done 7 different recipes, all of them a little bit on the international.
Yeah, there's some international flair there for sure. But again, we get drawn to it time and time again because
It has the flavor.
it has the flavor.
And I mean, even Italian and Mexican are still international, even though we hardly think of them that way because they're just part of our everyday cooking in
they are.
North America. But all of these are kind of from around the world, which is fun. And it's 7 meals. So that means if you were to double each one of these, you could end up with 2 weeks worth of dinners, which is pretty awesome.
It is. And I mean, if you're a vegetarian, that's great. If you're not, you can kind of space them out a little bit and do those Meatless Mondays, or when
Save your budget.
Save your budget, and when it works for you, then you can make it work for you, right?
Now, all of these are super, super, super fast to put together, other than that one Ethiopian one.
The Ethiopian one. And the paneer takes a little bit of time because you have to brown it.
Yeah.
But if we were making a ground beef dish, we have to brown the ground beef.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's not unheard of that there's prep. It's okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead. And it's worth it.
There's a bit of prep with these, but honestly, most of them come together like so fast. That vegetarian taco soup, I mean, it's mostly cans. So it's
bang, 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 bang. Done.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Thank you for joining us today. We're going to put a video right there to ways to save money using freezer meals. We've got tons of great tips in there.
Yeah, we do.
And so if you came to this video, not because you were a vegetarian, but because you were looking for ways to cut down on your grocery budget, we've got you covered.
Definitely check that one out, and because we have a lot of great ideas. Just in general, they make a lot of sense for saving money, but really we pare it down there, and you'll love the stuff that we picked.
Thanks for joining us today.
See you
Happy
next time.
cooking.
Bye.